Good morning, friends. In the previous video, I have talked about the broader areas from which you will get questions for in your interview. So today I am going to talk about one of the areas which is very important: vaccines and vaccination. And I have decided to put a series of videos around all those topics, so you can use it as a ready reckoner for your interview preparation. If you wish to see all those videos, you can subscribe to the channel Friendly Vet and have a look, and do comment how it is. Okay, let's go into the video. First, when you are going to talk about vaccines and vaccination, the first thing you have to know is why we need a vaccine in the first place. Because we have, if it's for a viral disease, it's okay. There is no other go, we have to give a vaccination. What about bacterial diseases? Bacterial diseases which are susceptible to antibiotics, if then why you need a vaccine for a bacterial disease? This is a very important question, which you will get to come across not only in interviews but also in fields, but nobody answers it rightly. Everybody, even if you are going to ask the farmer to get their animals vaccinated, everybody is saying that get your animals vaccinated, but nobody is explaining why we should vaccinate the animal in first place. What is the need for the vaccination? Now I will just give you a small glance of an idea behind the need for vaccination. Why we need vaccination in first place? We need vaccination because there are some diseases which are so acute which won't give us time to treat the animal. Example is anthrax. It is a bacterial disease, it is susceptible to antibiotics. Still, you won't get chance to treat the animal because it's going to kill the animal rapidly, right? Next, there are some diseases where the mortality rate is very low, but the morbidity is high, like FMD. It is not going to kill the animal. Still, why we need a vaccine? It's just because these diseases cause irreparable damage to the functions, right? Example is FMD. They just cause irrevocable damages to the function. So what does FMD cause? FMD causes irrevocable damage at three places. One, it affects the uterine membrane so that the animal loses the fertility. Your egg cannot get implanted in the uterus. It cannot conceive. It affects the thermoregulatory mechanism. It affects the hair follicles. So now you know the reason why you get a rough hair, why the animals are always panting. So these are irrevocable damages done by this virus, which essentially gets up to a point we need a vaccine. Then there are some diseases which, even though they are bacterial diseases, which are very tough to treat because it is not the bacteria per se which is causing the disease. It is the toxin produced by the bacteria which is going to cause a severe symptom like tetanus. So these kind of diseases we need a vaccine. And there are some diseases which cause a very huge loss to the farmer. So these are the reasons we need vaccines in the first place. Okay, now you got to know why we need vaccines. If you explain this to the people, then they will come and vaccinate their animals willingly. Okay, next what I will do is just I will run down for a few minutes, 2 minutes into how our immune system works, what is an immune system, how it works, so that you can boldly face any kind of questions related to the immune system, vaccination or vaccines. So I'll just give you a rundown how immune system works, what are the components, what is it. So you can always use it, because we cannot expect a specific question which I say in the interview. Interviewer may ask anything, but if you have an idea how things work and you know why, then you are at a better place to answer any kind of questions around things. So my idea is that. So I will give you a gist of what and how and why of the immune system. Right? Let's see how an immune system works. Anything, any foreign body, whether it's a protein, bacteria, virus, fungi, or a chemical substance like toxin, everything is a foreign body and it is an antigen. We call it as an antigen, right? Once a foreign body enters your system, body is going to respond to it. The first line of defense is our innate immunity. So what is innate immunity? Innate immunity is the one with which we are born with. So what are the responses? What is the example for innate immunity? Our cough reflex, acids in the stomach, oils in the skin. These are innate immune systems. What they do, they primarily prevent the disease from entering into the system. Right? These are the first line of defense. And there are also chemical substances of protein made of proteins in our body, which are also going to act as innate humoral immunity. What are they? There are two things which are mainly important, that is interferon and interleukin 1. What does these two do? Interleukins are responsible for the fever response we get. So you know how innate immunity, first they try to prevent these antigens from entering the body. If the organism in question overcomes this, then the next stage of immune system takes over it. So next we come to what is called as an acquired immunity. This acquired immunity is all about your vaccines, vaccination and all. Whenever we get exposed to a newer disease or newer organism, our body responds and body produces antibodies. This is so we acquire immunity. So it is naturally called acquired immunity. Then we have another type of immunity called passive immunity. What is passive immunity? If there is antibodies produced in someone's body, someone else, not in your body, someone's body, like in some other animal, and it is passively transferred to you, then it is called as passive immunity. Example, you can say all kind of serums. Okay, then we come to a place where why there is a need for a serum. Yes, we need serum because you take the case of rabies. If a rabid dog bites at your face, our brain is very near to the bite site. You are going to get the disease soon. So you need serums. Your body has no time to produce antibody against that antigen. So we need serum. Now you know why we need passive immunity. What is passive immunity? What is acquired immunity? And what is innate immunity? So with this background, let's get into what kind of vaccines are available in the field and what they do. And you will get to know all the answers, why you are giving booster doses, why, all those whys will be cleared. So there are 5 types of vaccine available in the field. 1. Live attenuated vaccine. 2. killed inactivated vaccine, killed or inactivated vaccine. 3. Subunit vaccine. 4. Conjugate vaccine. And 5. Toxoid vaccine. What is the advantages and disadvantages and difference between all these vaccines? And mainly, we always use the first two, live attenuated and killed inactivated vaccine. What is live attenuated vaccine? A live attenuated live organisms which are weakened and which won't produce disease. What are the advantages of this vaccine? It is as it contains live organism, it is going to give you a long lasting immunity. So we need very less of booster doses. The immunity is going to last longer. So what are the disadvantages? Because it contains live organism, there is a remote chance of it getting back to its form and causing disease. And you cannot give it to immunocompromised patients. And in the veterinary side, we cannot use it when there is an outbreak. You cannot use a live vaccine when there is an outbreak. Okay, then it comes naturally, you get to know. So when there is an outbreak, you can use a killed inactivated vaccine. Outbreak in a flock. So what are the disadvantages or advantages of killed inactivated vaccine? Killed inactivated vaccine produce weak immune response. So naturally we are going to need lot of booster doses. Now you get to know why we give repeated vaccination in case of rabies. Because what we are using is killed inactivated vaccine. So you need number of booster doses. So what is the disadvantage of killed inactivated vaccine? You cannot use it when there is outbreak. And we have other forms of vaccines which are of minor significance to veterinary field, like a conjugated vaccine or subunit vaccine. The other only vaccine which is very important for us is tetanus, that is toxoid vaccine. What is the difference between toxoid vaccine and the other two? Actually, the toxoid vaccine is not going to produce immunity against the organism. What is actually doing is, it is producing immunity against the toxin. Example is tetanus vaccine. Live attenuated vaccine, we have all kinds of vaccine like anthrax vaccine, FMD vaccine, everything. Then we go into our questions, important questions for the interview. What is the Vaccine Production Center in Tamil Nadu? It is IVPM. When it started, 1932, what are the vaccines? IVPM produces 4 bacterial vaccines. First is Blackwater vaccine. It is an alum precipitated vaccine prepared from highly antigenic strain of Clostridium chavi grown in anaerobic fluid medium, inactivated by formalin and precipitated by alum. There are 2 ways to produce inactivated vaccine. One is by addition of formalin, and another is heat inactivation. So this is formalin inactivated vaccine, and dose is 5 to 10 ml for cattle and buffaloes, and for sheep and goat it is 5 ml, and immunity lasts for 6 months and above. Animals above 6 months of age can be vaccinated, and keeping quality at room temperature it lasts for 21 days, and at 4 degrees centigrade shelf life can last for 6 months. Next is the hemorrhagic septicemia vaccine. It is prepared from highly antigenic strain of Pasteurella multocida, inactivated by formalin and precipitated by addition of alum. Doses same, 5 to 10 ml for cattle and buffaloes, and route of administration is subcutaneous route, and animals above 6 months of age can be vaccinated, and keeping quality is same, 21 days at room temperature, and 4 degrees centigrade. At 4 degrees centigrade, it lasts for 6 months. Enterotoxemia vaccine, this is for sheep. This is prepared from highly toxigenic strain of Clostridium preferens type D, and it is grown in anaerobic fluid medium and activated by trypsin and rendered sterile and toxic by addition of formalin and precipitated by addition of alum. Dose is 3 to 5 ml and route of administration is subcutaneous, and lambs above age of 3 months can be vaccinated. Pregnant ewes can be vaccinated safely, and immunity lasts 6 months. Keeping quality is same, 21 days at room temperature and 6 months at 4 degrees centigrade. Next is anthrax spore vaccine. Anthrax spore vaccine is a glycerinated suspension of live spores of uncapsulated avirulent strain of Bacillus anthracis. Dose is 1 ml subcutaneous for cattle. Sheep and goat, it is 0.5 ml. Administration is through caudal fold. Any animal above the age of 6 months can be vaccinated, and immunity lasts for a year. The main important question in the case of anthrax spore vaccine is, it is what strain it is made up of. It is Terney 34F2 strain. It is Terney 34F2 strain. And another important question which is frequently asked is, how many millions of spores are present in 1 ml of vaccine? It is 10 million. Okay. Next, IUPM manufactures 5 viral vaccines, and out of the 5, 3 is for poultry and 1 is for duck, and another is a sheeppox vaccine. So I will say about viral vaccines. It is sheeppox vaccine. It produces a cell cultured sheeppox vaccine. It is prepared from attenuated strain of sheeppox virus. Important thing is, it is Ranipet strain. That is our own strain which is used here. It is cultured in thyroid cells, freeze dried, and aluminum hydroxide gel absorbed vaccine. Dose is 0.5 ml subcutaneous, and lambs above 3 months of age can be vaccinated, and immunity of it confers immunity from 21 days of vaccination, and it lasts for a year. Okay, next is poultry vaccines. This is, first one is RDF lentogenic strain. It is given at the age of 5 to 7 days. Reconstitute the vaccine with chilled normal saline and 0.1 ml intranasally. It is given 0.1 ml intranasally. It confers immunity for 8 to 10 weeks. Then RD Lasota, that is given at the age of 4 weeks. It should be reconstituted with 4 liters of water containing skim milk powder 4 gram per liter, and it is given orally, and immunity lasts for 2 to 3 months. Next is RDVK Kumaro mesogenic strain. It is given at the age of 8 weeks. It is reconstituted with 100 ml of saline, and 0.5 ml is given as through subcutaneous route. Immunity lasts for life. And the last one is duck plague vaccine, DPV, Holland strain is used. It is reconstituted with 200 ml of PBS, and immunity lasts for 18 months. Route of administration is 0.5 ml subcutaneous. Okay, other than this, IVPM also manufactures some ointments, and which is of not much importance for us. And another 2 things which is important is, it manufactures Brucella abortus colored antigen to test for Brucella in milk sample. And another thing is California mastitis test reagent kit. So this leaves us with 2 more vaccines which is widely used in field. So I'll just cover those 2 vaccines. The most important vaccine is FMD. FMDCP was the program under which FMD vaccine was distributed and covered. Currently, central government, previously it was 50% subsidy given by state government and 50% subsidized by central government. Now, central government has taken that scheme and entirely central government subsidizes this scheme. So, the major change in this is the name of the program was changed from FMDCP to NADCP. That is one point to remember. Another thing is new, already previously it was only cattle which were covered under FMD vaccination program. Now it is going to be sheep and goat and pigs are also going to be included. So regarding the FMD vaccine, FMD has many strains and around 60 subtypes. The most important was 7 strains. They are OAC,
Asia1,
SAT1, SAT2 and SAT3. And the vaccine which is supplied to us contains OA and Asia1. Another important thing to remember is the new vaccine which is supplied under NADCP program is devoid of non-structural viral protein. I will just repeat this again. The new vaccine which is being supplied through NADCP program, we had first round of NADCP, so is devoid of non-structural viral protein. It is devoid of non-structural viral protein. Another important question regarding FMD vaccine is to attain herd immunity, how much of the population should be vaccinated? The answer is more than 90% of the population should be vaccinated. Then we have this question, what is herd immunity? Herd immunity is the immunity conferred by vaccinating when more than certain amount of population is vaccinated, the immunity we get out of which is called as herd immunity. Okay, this leaves us with only one question, one vaccine, that is PPR. PPR vaccine, route of administration is subcutaneous, dose is 1 ml, and Singri 96 strain is used for production of PPR vaccine. You have to read only 3 things. One is vaccination for dogs, vaccination for cats, and schedule of poultry vaccine. On schedule of these 3. So with this, you have, I think you would have got a pretty good idea of about vaccines and vaccination. So I will give you some thoughts for you. If you are interested, you can search and find the answers, and you can put it in the comments also. Questions for your thoughts. Okay. In a pregnant animal, the fetus is partly made up of paternal and partly it is half of 50% maternal comes from maternal side and 50% comes from paternal side. So it is a foreign body. So if body reacts to every antigen it is being presented, why the fetus is not getting aborted every time? That is one question I leave for you. And the next question is, we eat meat in our food. When body reacts to even a small quantity of protein, why it is not producing immunity, or why it is not mounting an antigenic response against the food we eat. These are two questions for your thought, and I will give an if you know the answer, you can just leave it in comment. And another thing I want to say is plagues. Some diseases are called plagues. That is just because these diseases cause very high mortality as well as morbidity. The rate is very high. So these kind of diseases are called plagues. So if disease which causes higher, which called as plague, enters the herd, the entire herd is wiped out. So that is pretty good. Then in the next video, I will tell you about current breeding policy and breeds in Tamil Nadu. So if you want to view those videos, you can subscribe to the channel Friendly Vet. Thanks for watching.